Next for you is getting back to work and school and all of the things after having a nice holiday break, a lot of you. Glad you're with us here on 13 Sunrise. I'm Jalea, along with Sam and Lindsay on your Monday.
Monday morning, we're back at it, and the mild temperatures are here this morning, which feels nice, and it's only getting warmer.
That's right. Each and every day this week going to be a little bit warmer. That takes us all the way to the low 60s eventually by Friday. Weird for this time of year, considering the fact that this is the day the average high temperature drops to 36, which is the coldest high temperature on average for Indianapolis for the entire year. So we're going to be well above that today. In fact, we're at 29 now, but we are starting to see a change in our wind direction as this high pressure system continues to exit off to the east. We're seeing more of a southeast wind right now that will become more of a southwest wind that will start to bring in some slightly more mild air starting later today. In the meantime, it's 35 in Muncie, 27 in Richmond, and that southeast breeze, it's really light. It's about 5 miles per hour or less in many spots. So we're not seeing a significant difference in the air temperature versus the wind chill this morning. Does feel a bit colder with the wind chill of just 18 over in Richmond. A mix of sun and clouds in store for today as the sun comes up just after 8 o'clock this morning. We'll add to our warming trend. We'll go 45 by 1, eventually 48 for a high here in Indianapolis today, 47 in Shelbyville, into the low 50s for our friends in southern Indiana. So here's what we're looking at over this next week. Temperatures ought to run 15 to 25 degrees above average, with that next weather system bringing the best chance of rain Thursday and Friday, then cooling off on the backside of that system this upcoming weekend. We'll talk temps and the rain timeline coming up in the full forecast. But here we are at 6:02. I want to get you updated on a little bit of a slow spot that we've got on the west side. And this is going to be due to some construction as they're doing some paving operations here on I-70. So these are actually going to be in the eastbound lanes of I-70 as they've got small stretches of the interstate that they're going to be working on over the next couple of weeks in between Terre Haute and State Road 267, so approaching the Indianapolis Metro. Here's a look at where we've got some of that construction set up. This is near that Plainfield Rest area. It does look like they've got that right lane blocked, so you can see a lot of slowed travel kind of right here along that stretch. Again, it's a small stretch, but it's enough to cause some delays now at this point, so keep that in mind if you're coming into the city over on the west side.
Well, at the State House this morning, Indiana lawmakers will be back at it for the rest of the general session now.
This time there will be hundreds of bills to consider. Anna Chalker joins us live from downtown Indianapolis this morning with what lawmakers will be looking at today. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning, ladies. It's been a few weeks since those lawmakers were here, and it kind of felt like this session was only centered around redistricting when they first met. But now we're going to see a wide range of bills introduced for the rest of this session. So it all kicks off at 1:30 when the House and Senate will both meet today in their chambers. The House does not have much on its agenda, but in the Senate, we'll see many bills on their second readings. This includes SB 76. It would require all law enforcement to comply with federal law when it comes to immigration. And there's some other focuses this year. This includes data centers, the big talker all around central Indiana, to make sure tech companies would not endanger water supplies if they were to build. And now there's also several bills about children in schools. One would require social media websites to ban kids who do not have parental consent. Another would let school districts sell ads on buses. And one proposal would ban cell phones, personal laptops, and smartwatches for the whole school day. And there's other topics, some big ones this year. And another one includes AI. And one lawmaker, he's putting his focus on an AI penalty bill right now. Coming up, we'll share how that has impacted his family personally this year and why he wants to make sure no one else falls victim to the creation and distribution of porn that was created by AI.
I've got a lot of national topics there, but so many of them are really hyper-local, Anna. Thank you for that breakdown.
Your time is 6:04. Happening today, Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro is expected to make his first court appearance.
He and First Lady Celia Flores are charged with narco-terrorism conspiracy, cocaine importation, and also weapons offenses. The U.S. captured Maduro and Flores in a military operation Saturday in their home on a military base. President Trump says that the U.S. will, quote, run Venezuela until there is a proper transition of power.
That operation is seeing criticism now from some U.S. lawmakers as well as world leaders. Former NATO Supreme Allied Commander General Wesley Clark says there are serious legal questions.
They didn't inform the Congress and get permission under the War Powers Act to do this, as the administration said they would. But on the other hand, they did have a finding, I believe, which authorized them to do it through intelligence operations.
We're going to run everything. We're going to run it, fix it. We'll have elections at the right time. But the main thing you have to fix is a broken country.
Meanwhile, Venezuela's interim leader is inviting the U.S. to work together on an agenda. Vice President Delcy Rodriguez says her country can exist in a balanced relationship with the U.S. and neighbors while maintaining non-interference. Also today, members of the Trump administration will brief the so-called Gang of Eight about the Venezuela operation. Those are congressional leaders from each party and the chairs and ranking members of the House and Senate Intelligence Committees. And the UN Security Council will hold an emergency meeting today on this situation. According to Reuters, the meeting was requested by Colombia and backed by Russia and China.
So a very busy day and a lot of updates to come from this. In the meantime, the Venezuelan community in Indianapolis is calling Saturday's strikes a chance for a new beginning. We spoke with the owner of this Venezuelan restaurant here. Alberlise Mino tells us that she immigrated to the U.S. more than a decade ago, but saying that she hopes that removing Maduro from power can start a new chapter for her country's future.
She says, we're thinking positively as this is a beginning. We know that changes are sometimes difficult and beginnings can be challenging, but we hope that all of this will bring positive things for Venezuela.
And that was our Ella Rhodes helping translate there. Some are concerned that the Delcy Rodriguez is still in power, with one man telling us the country wants everyone from the Maduro regime gone, so the country is truly free from his dictatorship. We're also getting some reaction this morning from lawmakers here in Indiana.
We heard from Senator Todd Young, who posted a statement in support of the strikes, saying in part, quote, "This should be an opportunity to bring Maduro to justice for his many crimes and a day of new hope for the Venezuelan people."
However, some lawmakers are pushing back against the strikes. Representative Andre Carson saying in part, quote, "Trump's move in Venezuela is a dangerous misuse of taxpayer dollars and an intolerable abuse of power. Only Congress has the power to declare war."
This story obviously developing throughout the day today and in the coming weeks. We will be sure to keep an eye every step of the way, and we'll have updates for you at WTHR.com. This morning, Metro Police say they have now detained a person of interest after a woman was shot on the northwest side of Indianapolis. We want to show you what this scene looked like around 6:30 on Bennett Drive. That's not far from 38th and Moeller. Metro Police say that's where they found a woman shot. They say she was stable when medics took her to the hospital. This morning, we have a tragic ending to tell you about after a 2-week-long search for a missing Indianapolis teen.
Divers recovered the body of 16-year-old R.J. Williams this weekend in the White River. He disappeared on December 17th. He was last seen on Broad Ripple Avenue, and police hoped that by sharing his picture and putting up posters that he would be found safely. Police said last week, though, that they believed he fell into the river.
RJ's family calls him a good kid, and they say they are heartbroken by this loss.
We had search parties out looking for him. We had everybody looking for him, and now he come up in this river. RJ was a good kid. He didn't bother nobody. He loved his family, and now he's gone.
RJ's friends and family say they are grateful for the community for helping to try to find him in that search.
This is a heads up for drivers, a good one, that the new year brings an ending to actually multiple projects for INDOT.
And that includes, believe it or not, the Clear Path project on I-69 and 465. After years of work, you know about this. The project is about 80% complete now, and almost all new bridges are finished and open. So most of the remaining work should be finished by the end of the summer.
INDOT says this is the second busiest interchange in Indiana. About 120,000 people drive through it every day.
Or having been in construction for more than 3 years now. We know people are anxious for that to be done, but with it being such a big project, we had to balance keeping traffic open so people can still use it and then closing off lanes so we can get stuff done. And that's just been a challenge to balance all of that, but we are looking forward to that being done this year.
And here's another big project that's wrapping up soon, too. The final touches on US 31. These are upgrades in Hamilton County that should also be finished this year. INDOT says that population growth means more traffic, unfortunately, more crashes, too. So the changes that are at work here are expected to make the area safer and improve the traffic flow, although I don't even remember what a lot of these areas look like when they were quote unquote normal. So glad to hear that some of those are wrapping up soon.